Hello and welcome to American Amnesia. I'm your host, Cliff Garner. And I haven't been so good about putting up a program for a little while. It's been a bit too long. But I have been outside of the state, so I do have an excuse. My brother and I took off for California on Monday. We drove out. It took 3 days, so that that was making it impossible to do. Well, virtually impossible. I might put something together, some of my pictures or something. But at any rate, I have been here in Santa Cruz for the last I don't know 4 days, I suppose. And so it's been a week now since I've been gone. So I thought I'd better get around to at least putting something up, let you know how I'm doing. Um, Santa Cruz, yeah, Santa Cruz, if you want to use a good Castilian lisp, and there it is. But it's a lovely place, a very beautiful area. Getting here was remarkable, going through the mountains and stuff. We went past Donner Pass. I'll have some pictures of those. And the Donner Party, uh, for those of you who don't know, started in Springfield, Illinois, and traveled west and got stuck in the mountains, and they became famous as cannibals. So that whole incredible story is I don't know, maybe we'll do a program on it. Sounds like fun. So, at any rate, I've been here in Santa Cruz for a little while. My brother is working here. He's helping to liquidate a bookstore in which the owner is retiring. It's a bit of an institution. It opened in the late '60s, I think, '68 or '69, and the guy's retiring. So, um, and it's a pretty cool bookstore. I've gone in there a couple times, and there's some books downstairs there that I'm looking at, maybe buying a couple. Also, there's a book that I may buy for my research on the Great Sellout, and we'll see. I'll look at it a little closer, but I have it on my mind. The downtown. We're staying at a place called the Hinds House, and I'll read you a little article about that. It's actually well known enough to be in Wikipedia, and so I'll take some time to talk about that in the article, the article that they have on it. Well, with no further ado, let's just go to it. Um, at the Hinds House. The Hinds House is a historic building in Santa Cruz, California. It was built in 1888 and 1889 by Alfred J. Hinds and his wife Sarah. Its Victorian style has been preserved, and it is the largest surviving stick East Lake house in Santa Cruz County. Today, the Hinds House is a historical inn with rooms rented out to guests visiting or relocating to Santa Cruz. It's a beautiful house. Colonel Alfred J. Hinds and family. Alfred Joseph Hinds was born in 1845 in Chester, England. In 1848, his family moved to France and then to the United States, eventually living in Iowa. During the California Gold Rush in 1850, they moved to San Francisco, although his mother died on the trip. In 1852, they moved to Santa Cruz, where he started school. In 1866, he opened a book and stationery shop in downtown Santa Cruz. On June 8, 1869, he married Sarah Lee Howe from San Mateo, California. His sister Amelia Hinds married Duncan McPherson, the publisher of the local paper newspaper, the Santa Cruz Sentinel, which still exists. In 1875, Hinds started to develop real estate in the city of Santa Cruz. He would buy up large tracts of land on the edges of town to subdivide and sell them. He was the secretary and trustee of the First Congregational Church since 1875 and one of the first trustees of the Santa Cruz Public Library, which is right down the road here, just straight out on Church Street, a few doors down. Actually, about 2 blocks, I think. He was active in the California Republican Party. Now, right over here, we have a picture of Teddy Roosevelt up on one of the peaks in California. He may have stayed here. And helped organize the Avalon Lodge number 89 of the Knights of Pythias, which is kind of a Blue Lodge model type fraternal organization. Nothing real heavy duty there. In 1888, he was appointed colonel in the Knights and became known by that title. He was also active in other fraternal orders. Alfred Hinds and his wife Sarah had 4 children, who were all lost when a diphtheria epidemic swept Santa Cruz in 1876. They started a new family, and at least 3 children survived. Sons included Leland Foy Hinds, Wendell McPherson Hinds, and Theron Winfred Hinds. Hinds died in 1921 at the age of 76. Construction of the Hinds House. Hinds hired Santa Cruz architect John H. Williams to design the house, which was constructed in 1888 and 1889. Williams designed over 60 local buildings between 1876 and 1892. Williams is known for his stick Eastlake style, a popular style of Victorian architecture, and you see a few places still existing with that. In the 1890s, one of the first electric lights in Santa Cruz was installed in the house. Electricity came from Fred Swanton's new power plant 15 miles up the coast from Santa Cruz in Davenport, California. The fixture was put in at the base of the grand stairway, where it remains today, and it's a chandelier. It's a nice one. It's pretty. The downstairs is rather comfy. The house after the Hinds, after Alfred's death, his children and grandchildren eventually moved away, and nobody lived in the home. In 1930, the house was bought by 2 female school teachers. They operated the house and rented out rooms to guests until 1960. Between 1960 and 1980, the house continued to function as an inn under the ownership of 2 more people. The interiors of the house were also fixed up at this time, including the renovation of the sitting room and parlor and the first floor as apartments. In 1981, Sandra and Stan Mock bought the house and restored it to its original stick Eastlake style. Restored the original common rooms, making it an example of the Victorian influence in Santa Cruz. In 2004, Brian Springsock and Christine Albrecht purchased the property and operate the Hinds Victorian Guest House, offering weekly lodging in downtown Santa Cruz. Recognition. In 1982, the Santa Cruz Historical Society designated the Hinds House as a historical landmark. On August 25, 1983, the house was put on the National Register of Historic Places listing in Santa Cruz County, California by the United States Department of the Interior. Today, the Hinds House has been a historic bed and breakfast inn since 1982, and today it is the best example of Williams's stick Eastlake style buildings in Santa Cruz County. But there are similar places. They probably changed the interior to where it no longer has sitting room, and there's a dining room, and there's a library. Also, there's a oh goodness, a little cubby hole right by the door, where you could sit and actually look out the window. It's pretty cool. But anyway, but there's all these little details of interior construction that were changed and renovated, I suppose would be the word, back into the style of the house. So it's really pretty interesting. The current innkeeper of the Hinds House is Brian Sprainsock, and the house has 10 rooms for guests, including the attic. The ground floor has common rooms, including the dining room, sitting room, and the parlor. The original woodwork throughout the house is intact and polished. Outside to either side of the house, there's a large Norfolk pine and a 125-foot tall, 38-meter coastal redwood. Rooms are rented by the week. The largest percentages of guests, about 33%, are visiting University of California, Santa Cruz. The Hinds House is near the center of downtown Santa Cruz at 529 Chestnut Street. Well, there's the history of this place, and I'll supply it that article as a link at the bottom, and that's from Wikipedia. It's been nice over here. There's a couple good restaurants. We went to this one last night. Eric's Deli Cafe, and a nice menu. They make basically soups and sandwiches. They're kind of specialty. Chris is interested in it because of the clam chowder, but both of us tried the pastrami Reuben there. It was quite nice. It's probably the best pastrami I've had since I left Turkey. I do like a good pastrami. But one of the things about pastrami is it is Turkish. I bet you didn't know that. And that it came from taking a chunk of meat, and I think beef or lamb probably, and mixing spices on it and rubbing it down, and then you stick it up underneath of the saddle, right? And you ride around on your horse, and it partially cooks it, the body heat from the horse, and the pressure from having your leg on it. And so the meat's pressurized and it is compacted, and it also mixes the spices in it better, and it's partially cooked. It's also partially not cooked, which steak tartare, right? No, tartars are an offshoot of the Turkic peoples. So this is part of steppe culture, and it came to America from the Jewish community in the Balkans and Eastern Europe, which largely were under, if not Ottoman control, Ottoman influence. So the Ottomans at one time had the whole Black Sea area under their rulership, and then also further east. A lot of people don't know about that part of the Ottoman Empire, but that's kind of an offshoot of wedding the Ottoman expansion to the receding empire of the Mongols against Genghis Khan. So, at any rate, that came to America by that route, and I would imagine that originally the Reuben sandwich was kind of a mixture of pastrami with like well, they don't use sauerkraut in Turkey, but they do like to pickle cabbage over there, and that's a common practice, and it's quite good. And it's probably some kind of a stew or something, be my guess. So at any rate, it came to the U.S. from there. But back to Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is really a lovely town center, and it's rather old for the most part. Older buildings, and you can even see the old trolley car tracks through the downtown area, but I don't think the trolley cars are running anymore. Shame that they don't. I think it would be very charming, actually. But the downtown area is really cool, and there's some good restaurants there. I found a place that Middle Eastern place, I think. It might be Greek, or at least partly Greek. And but they have ayran, which is something that I've missed very badly since I left Turkey. It's a yogurt drink, an unsweetened yogurt drink, no less. And it's just marvelous, if you ask me. But it's tart, very tart, just like Turkish yogurt is. If you have tried the Kobani yogurt, then you have a pretty good idea what Turkish yogurt tastes like. It's pretty close. It's a little bit lighter. But this came in a bottle, and it was it was comparable to any ayran that I've had in Turkey. I'm very pleased with it. I will be back there. So there was that, and I also went yesterday. I went to finally got down to the beach and the pier down there, and just wonderful. Santa Cruz is a nature preserve, I guess you'd call it, for sea animals, and they're famous for the sea lions, which I saw one and heard several, which was pretty cool. They they're funny. So it was really neat going down to the pier. I walked all the way out on the edge to the edge of the pier, and there were a lot of gulls, of course, and stuff. They have a lot of restaurants on the pier, and there's some gift shops and whatnot. You can rent kayaks, actually, things like that. And that's all along there. There's one restaurant that I know I'll be back to. They have a prime rib special on Wednesday, and I'll definitely go down there and check that out, see how it is. There's a couple places for ice cream that I might sample before I leave here. So anyway, it's been kind of fun. Well, not kind of, a lot of fun. I've enjoyed my time with hanging out with my bro, and just really breathing the air in another place. It's been lovely. I'll have something come out pretty soon here, not waiting too long, probably a couple days. But I wanted to get this out there and let you know that I'm alive and well, and actually enjoying things over here in Santa Cruz. And talk to you later.